Very warm welcome. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. We are heading into our next session of the CIO-Talk series here at you. I'm very glad that Martin Burich is joining us. And today we're going to learn how Quizza is organizing her journey towards becoming more digital and enhancing their products and services with digital capabilities. Just a very few words from my side for the introduction. Martin will share a little bit more details with us. So Martin pursued his studies at the Technical University in Engineering, and he focused, and I think this is something that is actually very nice, in his PhD studies on business processes. So this is something that I very much can relate to. Afterwards, he worked in different functions in different consulting companies before he joined the holding in pursuing his CIO agenda. So what is also something that is very interesting for Martin to learn is who are you guys? And maybe I can just ask for your hands. Are you a bachelor student? Is there any bachelor student here in the audience? All right, thank you so much. Is there anybody who is a master or a PhD student? All right, thank you so much. Who would say, I am a practitioner and I'm interested in how these guys are doing this digital journey? Okay, excellent. This is beautiful. So I leave the floor to you. Warm welcome. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Okay, thank you, Jan. It's a pleasure for me to be here at the university. The last time I was a lecturer in this university, Professor Hansen told me and asked me to hold a lecture in process management, and it was, I think, 15 years ago. Not here, on the other side, yeah, a long time ago. And now I can present you and I can discuss with you our journey from Quizza to digital transformation. And yes, I'm interested. Who knows Quizza? Like the company Quizza, okay? Okay. And what is Quizza doing? Do you know the industry, the field? Pharmacy, yes, pharmacy. You know our well-known product, Stop. Okay. Well, you know, yes, it's it's the girl with the stick. So I will tell you something about Quizza. Quizza is a medium company with over 1,300 employees and with a revenue of 942 million euro. And we are quite complex. We have 7 divisions, and I will tell you something about the 7 divisions because it's important to know why it is so complex to do digital transformation in our case. So we have division pharmaceuticals, as we told, that's our main product, Stop, with several side products. And we deliver these products in Europe and also in next time also in USA, also in Australia. And that is our main product and our main future strategic product we deliver, and we have also research and development there. We have also agriculture, so we produce herbicides, pesticides, fertilizers and biocides. We produce them in France, and we have sales companies, greater sales companies in Romania and in Hungary. And we have a great plant also in Leobendorf, in the north of Vienna, where we have the business of tolling, so we are producing products for other companies. Another company is Büscher and Hoffmann in Enns, and there we have several other products we have the distribution, production distribution of roofing and waterproofing systems. So it's also something chemical, but not an equivalent industry like the others. It's a complete different industry and a complete different production site. And on the other hand, the four industries in healthcare, we have a pharmaceutical pre-wholesale company. What is pre-wholesale? If you are a producer of pharmaceuticals, you need a stock in the different countries, and you need a logistic to bring your products from the stock to the pharmaceutical wholesale. So it's a warehouse like you have their pallets, and in wholesale you have small packets. You see that the pharmaceutical wholesale is the main industry in our group with almost 400 employees and a sales revenue of 560 million euro. And is located in Austria, and we deliver sometimes 4 times a day to the pharmacies. So Amazon tries to deliver next day, we deliver 4 times in the same day. Okay, we have a little advantage, we're in the same country, we're in the same city, but it's a hard logistic. On the other side, on the next side, we have pharmacy services. We have services for pharmacies like how they can serve efficiently. So we have also some pharmacies in our industry, and we deliver also for these pharmacies services to make them more efficient and to make more profit. And also we have a little industry, cosmetics. It's not so important, but it makes also a part of complexity in our group. And as you see, the healthcare divisions are almost located in Austria, and the agriculture divisions you see the green dots, in the near Europe, and also Büscher and Hoffmann more in the east. So we have almost 25 locations, so we offer also a complexity in the location side. So, you know, years ago, there's all these buzzwords of analytics, social, mobile, digital, security, Bitcoin, blockchain. But what stands behind? If you think mobile, it's a trend. But if you think what is necessary to bring mobile to produce and to use mobile, there are several things to take into account. Several years ago, there was a discussion if you use a mobile device platform management platform, because of security issues. So on the other side, you have to take into account who is before the mobile, who is using the mobile. Yeah? Are the right persons using the mobile phone or the smartphone or the tablet? Yeah? So you have the technology to take into account of secure who is using the phone, and several other technologies and several other issues. Also the issue of information security. Who has access to the data? Is the person using the smartphone the right person to have access to the data from your systems? So with my CFO, I discussed how can we begin our journey in digital transformation. And we sat down and we discussed some critical questions we have to solve, and we have to ask our divisions. One question was, how do we deal with risks and opportunities of the digitalization approach? because there are risks. There are not only opportunities. And what's our approach to fix this? How can digitalization support our strategic goals? So, an easy question, but do you know your strategic goals? We have 7 divisions. Do they know their strategic goals? So that we can deliver digitalization and technology to reach them. How can we develop our customers and markets in a sustainable way with the use of digital technologies? If you think about this question, you have to know what digital technologies can do. What do they have for a potential for your industries? So I, as an information technology guy, have to know what are the customers and markets in our divisions. Yes, we will take into account that we get into cooperation and communication with our divisions, but I have to have an idea of the customers, of the customer need, and the market need. What are our core competencies? Also not so easy. You have functional competencies, you have sales, you have marketing, you have R&D, you have warehouse production, but what are your really core competencies? Yeah? What can you outsource and what have you to make for yourself? Yeah, how will we change to be proactive? Proactive is important in digitalization because when you are the first mover, you are the second. And if our market is developing and we are not the first, maybe we are the last. And also, because of core competencies, we cannot deliver all competencies, all technologies, and all the functions for ourselves. We need partner. We need not only partner in IT, we need partner also in business. We cannot do the business for ourselves. And what are the consequences for the individual division and for the Quidster Group at a glance? Yeah, and the appel to our divisions, let's use the digitization initiative together for ideas and innovative approaches. Our claim was, and we discussed this, should we take into account all 7 divisions and also the holding as a central part, as a central service organization. So we have 8. Or should we take some divisions with more potential? But we discussed, we take them all. The project was a little bit broader, but we take them into account for our initiative. What was really important is the customer focus, because if I ask my functional departments and business units how I can support them with IT, I get enough ideas. I cannot manage in the next 5 years. But are these the right projects? Because are these projects, can they deliver customer value? So we have to focus only to take into account that we need ideas that deliver and enhance customer value. Also, new revenue streams. We have some business models and we have revenues in these business models. And all the salespersons are running 1 year to reach the figures. But we have to take into account that one step right or left, and to think about, do we have new revenue streams for ourselves so we can make more revenue, not only from the basic business, also from new business and new services. And technological enabler, we as IT, we have to show our business units the potential of the new technologies, because they do not know. Yes, in magazines and in newspaper, digitalization and some technologies will be presented and will be known, but only on top. So, beside our IT project portfolio, we want a new digital portfolio and to deliver them with this customer focus. And based on this, we need an architecture roadmap, an IT architecture roadmap, because if you need a solution, you need not only months, 6, 9 months to deliver the technical basics. We defined that we go slowly in 2017 and gave the name Digitalization First Wave. So the first step into digitalization, to take the ignition. And important was the objective to build a common understanding of the potential of digital transformation. The second step is a concrete timetable for the projects and for the new ideas. And the third step was to implement the projects and so that customer and market and partner receive their benefits. I don't go in all these objectives, but it's important to define your objective of your digital initiative in a concrete way. Because if you have no objective, you have not the path to reach them. So it's important, every sentence here is important, and you have to think of defining them exactly and concrete, so you can reach this and you can also define the deliverables based on your objectives you have to reach. So important was that we need the commitment of our business units for realizing digital transformation. I cannot do digital transformation from the IT side. It's not okay. I can say it's a nice technology. I think it has a potential, but if you have not the business unit in your team, and if the business unit and the person if it's sales or if it's R&D or it's production, have not an idea of the potential of technology, we have not the communication base to discuss some ideas and to discuss some solutions. So it's important, this digital business transformation, we want to do new things. We want not to do the old things. The old things are in mind, and the old solutions are in mind. If you ask business unit leaders or persons that are in a functional position about some technical solutions, they know their solution in their previous companies. They know Excel, they know Outlook, and they know file shares. So maybe they know fax. Yeah? So their solution room is not very wide. And my task is to give them an idea of the new solutions. And to take into account, most executives are risk averse, and want the CIO, they want me to focus on using digital new technologies, but to optimize the current business model, because it's easier. The other way to think about new services, it takes energy, it takes brain energy in the first step, and then it takes energy in new projects, in maybe new solutions. And it's a little bit risky to take new solutions. And the business risk is also here, because if you have new services, maybe you have new customers, maybe old customers are not very satisfied with these new services. And you have to take into account where are you in the market with your new service. Do you support your customer or do you not support your customer? So one point is that the customer is changing. The customer 10 years ago is not the same customer. So why it is changing? If you remember, also in the car industry, there were customer segments, and the customer segments were well defined, and there were potentials of car deliveries in each segment. Today, the customer tells, I'm an individual, I will have my car, and my car is not a car that is a car for every other. You have a great variety of the possibility to define your car, to select some issues for your car. On the other side, I expect an effortless experience, customer experience. If you go to some marts, you not have only can buy something. The children can play. You can drink coffee. It's experience for you, yeah? And also in other segments, experience is more important, 96%. And customers will that you reflect the value and beliefs. Yeah? Do you save the climate? Yeah? Are you social? That's also important, not only the product you are selling. And on the other way, my peers help me decide. Your website is not the first contact point if you buy something. The peers are really the first contact point, and the social collaboration. And yes, if you take this into account, it's not important to have the best website with a product descriptions. It's more interesting, maybe, to be active in the social community. But do you have the competence to be active in the social community? Do you know how to deal with these platforms? How you know how to present your products there? What is if you get into a shitstorm? What do you have to do in the next minutes, not in the next days? And we present this, our divisions, to give them a motivation to think about not only in their services and in their dimensions, but also to think of new customers and new customer potentials and their reflective faces. And we told them about new sources of revenue enabled by digital business. Can we sell digital assets? Can we sell our data? Can you imagine, is our data in the wholesale or of the pharmacy, is this data important? Yes, and we sell this data. There are companies, we sell this data, they are merging this data, and we buy it back. So, but to think about selling the data is for some business leaders a critical way, so, because they say it's our data. Yeah? Can you digitalize products or services? Yeah? Can you? As the refrigerator, not with an app, or you have your lights on with an app. Yeah? You can think of something. Yeah? I think 95% of these ideas will be not have a life cycle of 1 or 3 years, but some of these ideas will be focused on customer experience and will enhance the value of the customer. Yeah. So there are some revenue potentials, yeah, that you have to take into account for your digital transformation. And when we tell our executives about new business model, you have also to think about what is a business model. You cannot discuss with them new business models. What's the idea of a business model? So we told them what a business model is. And I told them the model of Gartner. So we have to take into account what is your customer, that are individuals or segments. what is the value proposition of your customer, what are the capabilities to serve the customer, or necessary to serve them, and what's the revenue stream and what is the cost. And hopefully there is a difference, a positive difference for you in your business case. And this is a detailed version of what is a business case, and a business model, and how to create them. So we have the communication base with our divisions and our internal customers to get into the discussion of new products and services in the frame of a digital transformation. I have this only for, also you can read this then, and for example, the value proposition. Our opportunities to transform physical products by adding digital capabilities. Yeah? And if you think about this example, you have a pest control. As you know, you have them in your garden, and you can enhance this pest control with some IoT components. If maybe you have pesticides there, if there are at an end, you can fill them up. You have detection sensors if there are enough pests in your bottle, and you can enhance your product, and you can have maybe an information to your smartphone to change all these things. No? Don't know if there is a customer base to buy this, and don't know what's the cost of this, but it's important to brainstorm if you have some ideas to do this, to enhance, for example, your product with digital components. So as we see, we have the strategy. You need to have strategic goals. You have a business model, how to define a business model. And you have an operating model, and you need here the processes, because process management is important. And you need the governance and the resources to fulfill the business model and to reach strategic goals. But you need also the capabilities. What are your major capabilities, and what are the critical capabilities for you? Because you have to invest in these capabilities, and we have to support these capabilities with IT. And we defined a capability map of our business. And this is a capability map for all the 7 divisions. So we defined also here the functional areas, and we defined here the management level, and defined in some days of work. It's not the amount of days of work, but you need to have the experts and the know-how. What are the business components in a whole? And if you have an idea of a new business service, then you can say, okay, what are the critical competencies, business competencies for this service? And where do I have to invest? And you have more, if you have more services, then you have the overlay, and you have more focus on the business components and capabilities you have to invest. What was the procedure of our workshops? First step, we made an easy setup. The first idea was to asking them all questions, 40 questions in the first time. So okay, then we sat back and say, okay, 40 questions. It's not the right idea to get into a dynamic, agile transformation workshop. So it was it's only one page, three PowerPoint pages. We send them to fill up because we want to know what's their level of digital dexterity. What do they know about digital transformation in their business? Only easy. Open questions, some open questions. Are there any ideas of apps, applications? What have they in mind? Yeah? That's what the setup. And then in the first workshop, we discussed also the new revenues, potential revenue, and we discussed the different customer expectations. And then, in the further step, we add the personas. As you know them, personas are not new. My son was studying graphics and marketing and told me, okay, if you design a website, you need personas. It's like, okay, yes, but it's another issue. You need personas to design a website, but now you need personas to design new business and new services. It's the same method, but it's another objective. And it's important. It was fun for the salespersons to have this view on their clients, not only the revenue view and this personal view. We go into detail then. And then to define in the last step the customer journey. Yeah. When does the customer know about our product? When does the customer know about Punch Stop? Okay, you need any form of marketing. Or you have a website, or you go into the social media, the defined groups, whatever. Then they have to take into account, into consideration to buy a product. Okay, because only knowing the product is not that I have the idea to buy the product. And then there's an acquisition phase, buying phase. Then you have also the question, are there additional services I can offer for my client? And what's the life cycle of the client? Will the client buy in the next year the same product? Do I need to have some additional products? So I have to take into account for present services, but also for all the new services. So we defined digital customers, the Christian, the digital affine pharmacist, and also Brigitte, the digital affine pharmacist, and also for Büscher and Hoffmann, for this group, and also Rupert, the digital farmer. Yes, and it was fun to do this. It's something is whitened because it's not for all the eyes, but you see, from this discussion, you have a good idea who is this customer, yeah? With these 6 dimensions. Yeah? And it's only the digital affine customer, because all the others will not use digital product. Yeah? And now I will present you 2 videos. These 2 videos, they were not only made for the workshops of digital transformations, but it was management trainings workshop, and they had the idea, and there was the task to define. Also, satisfied customers. Yeah. So it's important to take the view of your customer. What are the concrete advantages of your customer? Yeah. Where is he working? Yeah. What are his concrete problems? And if you don't know this, maybe you will develop the false solution. And it's enough that you have to work months or years for an IT business solution, and if you go not in the right direction, it's a problem. Yeah? So take into account the minimal viable product, not have the idea of 100%, have the idea of 50%, ask your customer to use this, to have prototyping phase, and then you develop your product further on. So the next step was to consolidate all these deliverables to a first digital roadmap. And what's inside the digital roadmap, you will see in the next steps. Important is that you have a digital vision, where to go, and a basic understanding of the requirements of 5 fields. The know-how, the capabilities and know-how you have to know. What do you need for a new organization and for staff resources in the future? Maybe you cannot develop your staff in the next step of digitalization. Maybe you need new staff. Not only younger staff, but it's one option. I need, and the company need, a technical architecture to go in. We need budgets. We need to finance all this. And in most times we need also partnerships. Or I need partnerships. We do not have the capability to develop maybe smartphone apps. We do not have this in the IT. So I need partner to do this. And also you need business partner. Our salesperson and our executives told us in the pharma, we do not need Amazon because we do not sell our products at Amazon. Okay, we go to Amazon, and what have we found? Our products at Amazon. Not via our company, but via other companies. So our products will be sold at Amazon. So, and the peers have some suggestions if the product is good or not good. Who is managing this? No? So after collecting all these project ideas, we classified them in the way Gartner classified them in 6 categories. And 3 of these categories are more or less digitization, more or less automation of existing processes. Okay, there are new ways of working. Maybe our salesperson are working with tablets. Okay, they're doing the same, but with a new technology, with apps, with some better user experience, but they do the same. The new ways of running operations, more or less process efficiency in all these fields, production, HR, and the possibility of new ways of engaging customers. Okay, you send not the customer per fax, per email. Okay, it's a little advantage, but it's not really a great step. What was our objective? To go into these fields, into new products and services, maybe also new business models, and maybe new markets. So that was the idea. What was the reality? Okay, you see the reality. And we focused on customer side in the workshops. So it was a small step in the right direction, but it was not so easy to bring our executives from the functional divisions in this direction, to focus on new products and services. But we had almost 80 projects, And we had 12 initiative projects in this field. So 12 is quite enough to do. What is the next step? I have an example of a digitalization idea. Because you have an idea and you have to concrete this idea. So here am I, in the first district. You see the University of Vienna, and there is Quidster Holding. So I'm going to Quidster Holding, but I have a cough, and I need our product. No? Okay, but where to buy? I have an app, Quidster AppleSurf. Let's get into, and this app told me, oh, where is the next open pharmacy? Okay, the next open pharmacy here at Freyung. But they tell me, via the app, Bronchostop Sine is not on stock. Okay. But they told me, Quidster is delivering 4 times a day. It could be picked up at 2:30 p.m., but I have to wait. There's another pharmacy on the left side there. This pharmacy says, I have the product on stock and you can pay online via PayPal, whatever, credit card. When you pay, the product is ready to pick up. So, okay, nice, but I'm there, and there is the pharmacy. How to get there? So the app told me the distance is 7 minutes on foot, yeah, but you can get the tram number 43 at Schottentor station, yeah, and drive 1 station to Landesgerichtsstraße. So where is the Schottentor station? I have to know this because the app knows this. I know nothing, yeah, so all via the app. And the train, and I know because of also open data, departure in 3 minutes. And I will get this on foot, but not with my foot, yes, because I have a little injury. So now I would take 7 minutes, but it takes me 3 minutes, and I go there and buy this via, I'm going there, I can pay online, and I'm satisfied. So that's a business case. But it seems easy, but it is not easy. Why it's not easy? There are some points. You need the information if there's the product on stock. This information is not available. So if you want to have this information, you have to go to each of the pharmacy and to have a negotiation about the data, if they give you the data of the stock. Maybe he's interested, maybe he's not interested to give you the data. Yeah? Then you have to collect all this data, and if you have there an app, you have to have access the app to the data, and you have some technical problems, but the critical problems is the business case a reliable business case? What is the advantage for a pharmacy? If I would have not the app, I have only the information about another app, where is the next pharmacy? I would go to this pharmacy and, okay, I would buy Bronchostop, maybe another product, because if I need this product now, or I have to wait and would buy this in this pharmacy, not in this pharmacy. Also, why should this pharmacy, what's the advantage of this pharmacy? And what's the advantage to be part, as a partner, in this business case? Well, it's not so easy to convince them. And that's important. Before you deliver and before you derive a solution, you must be sure that this business case with all these partners has advantages for all partners. You have also to integrate the business domains, if you go into this business case, to say, okay, what's the processes to deliver this business case? What's the organization? Also, what is the culture? What are the resources, the roles? And maybe you have different locations you have to take into account. And also the technical side, as you know, the data, the information, technology, all the hardcore technology, and the information systems. And if I discuss with our functional departments, also IT solutions, they told me, you're responsible for IT, it's your SAP. So it's not my SAP. Okay, it's enough technology to run SAP, but it's your system. It's your data, and it's your business process. And it's not easy to convince all these functional executives and specialists from this view. They need to have key user. They need to have to manage the master data. And they are owner of the data, not me. I have no access to the data. Okay, I have technical access, but I cannot export this data because I have an idea to do with this data. I have to ask our departments to use their data. That is not in mind. So, in our journey, we go one step beyond. And if you have a business case, you have business canvas. One thing is to know the business canvas. The other thing is to do something with this business canvas. It's an easy way to do because the departments know this. It's not a miracle, but it's hard. It's work to fill in. But if you have done your exercises and you know your customers, your segments, you know the experiences of the customers, it's more easier to fill in this. And the white fields are the business side, and the yellow fields are technical side, the IT requirements. So we have to derive the IT requirements from the business requirements. And if you do this for all the business services, yes, and that's one example of a filled-in business canvas. You have the information, the input for an IT architecture. We have done this also in a more top-down way also, because if you go in the first step in a detail, it's not the right way. You need to come top-down, and you have an idea where to invest generally. And here's also a model of Gartner, and you have 5 areas, architecture areas. And one area is the ecosystem. You are always part of an ecosystem. You are part of a business ecosystem. Yeah? As you know, Red Bull is a marketing company. They have partner for logistics. Yeah? Why should they do this? Yeah? And they have partner for production. And the question is, what is your role, especially in all these digital partners, as Amazon, Google, Microsoft? And a realistic assessment of your capabilities. What are your digital capabilities to be part of a platform? To run a platform, it's complex, but it's also not so easy to be part of a platform, to manage this. The customer side. If you have a solution for a customer, how easy it is to scale to a lot of customers. Not only in Austria, maybe in Europe, maybe all over the world. On the other side, you have the baseline. You have your production, you have integration, security, you have IoT, you have the necessity of using sensors for your production lines. And you need core IT systems. If you have an app and have not core IT systems with master data, the right master data, and if you have not automated your processes in the right way, you have not the chance to get into digital business cases. And you need business intelligence. You need to know what should I do with my data, and you need to have the right tools to do this. Also for standard reports, but also for analytics, to have some insights of the data you get not with the standard reports. And from these 5 groups, we go deeper into 22 architecture groups. And you can use, for each business case, can you define what of these 22 architecture groups you need, if you have the right understanding, a deep understanding of your business case. As I told you in the example before for my app. If you have this idea on this level, you are able to define what architectural groups you need. And if you do this for all the 80 projects or project ideas we have found, you get a landscape where you have to invest. For all these 22, the amount it's too much effort to do this. So we reduce this on these 5 areas. And all these 80 ideas were classified in these 5 groups. And there you see that it's not, why it's not 80, because you have there was 3 possibilities to rank them: the first area, the second area, and the third area. And as you see, there is the need to invest in the core information system platform to have the right base. The second most important is the customer platform, to have customer data, customer relationship management, and customer insights with analytics. And then we have the analytics platform as the third issue. The IT platform, from the first step, from our first roadmap, was not the key platform. So we will not invest anything in the next 2-3 years in this platform. We will focus on products for the other platform. And on the other hand, was the question, another view on these 80 issues was the platform complexity, because every of this issue need 1, 2, or 3 platform, or maybe 4 parts of this platform. And for all these 80 issues and projects, we defined the customer value. What is the value for the customer? There were 5 groups: easier information, more experience, something on. And the Quidster value index: easier processes, lower costs, lower effort of staff. And we calculated them as a product of customer value and Quidster value for a whole value index. And yes, as you see, it's normal that with a lower complexity and a high value, there are no projects. There is a correlation between the value and the complexity. And we have a lot of projects with services, or possible services, with a high complexity and with a lower value index. So you will not need to invest there. Will you need to invest there? Maybe. But We defined in another way these projects there, and it's a good correlation between the important projects and this classification. Only one project here is still missing and is out of range. We thought about the methodology, and there was one dimension missing, that was the strategic fit. So we had complexity, more or less a technical aspect, we have value, but the strategic fit was not calculated right. Yeah? So this project, and we know that this project is important for us. Yeah? If we have another dimension of strategic fit, it would be more or less than here. So we calculated them because you have only an amount of investment and budget, and you have to decide where to go. What are the learnings? A digital initiative do not replace a business strategy. Okay. If you have not a business strategy, if you have not a business goal, you will not a digital transformation, not a journey. Go a step beyond and define your business strategy. Yes, culture beats strategy. If you have not the right culture in a company and not digital affinity and dexterity, you can talk, you can have workshops, better not to invest there. And better not to have us go 3 years, talk them, we'll see us in 3 years. Do your business, and we have to invest in another department. Yes, also to talk about digitalization is one thing, to take project risk is another. Yeah? Project risk is to have to invest, and you may fail. If you have not a culture, a failure culture, it's a problem. Who will invest? No, the holding, because it's your project, it was your digital journey. Invest, give us an investment, because for us it's too expensive to be the first mover. And the discussion issue, when it's the right time to get into an issue. That's not so easy. It's not so easy to say, okay, we have now the deliverables of our workshops, go into. It's not so easy. Maybe you have to wait 2 years to step into. So that's the learning, and the aftermath is, innovation budget, where to get. Get an innovation budget from where? From my budget, from my running budget. So I have to spare some technologies, or to have some additional budget from the executives. The capacities for leading innovation projects, do you have the right staff, the right people to do this? Or need you new people? And is it possible to free them up from the daily business? Automate first. The first question is, okay, we have some digitalization projects. There is interesting, but can we automate first? Yes, you have to automate first some process, because you have no data and you have no base where you can lay on your digital projects. But if you automate first and you need 7 years, the market will be developed further. We have seen that robotic process automation is, from the technology side, an issue. It's not top new technology, but it's important that it has a high potential to reorganize and to automate internal processes, and you have a high perceived value to the internal customers. And your internal customers can learn what technology can do for you. We have developed also a BI strategy and platform, and I have made an organizational redesign of my IT company, because we also need to be more business oriented. And there's only 2 slides to show this, because we're told that our departments and our divisions have to focus on the customer side, and also I have to focus on our internal customer side. So we reorganized us, and from this view, from a technical view, that's not only the organizational structure, but that's the view we were focused on, yeah? On technology. You are the guy for SAP C4C. But what is SAP C4C? SAP C4C is supporting sales processes and marketing processes. And it's the same for all these technologies. The technology stands not for itself. And so I have to merge and to develop further. So that's my new departments and my new cost centers. So on every center is managed by an IT manager, and so we organized as our clients. So we organized marketing and sales. Yes, we deliver SAP C4C behind, but not only. And we have to focus first on the sales processes and then on the solutions. There's also a shift in the mindset in my staff, because to get the mindset from SAP C4C to all other solutions that is in sales process is possible. It's a wide step, but we have to develop. And also all the other functional departments. So it's more complex to budget and to manage, because I had 4 cost centers in the past, and now I have 14. Okay, that's the bad side. But the good side is that every IT manager has a direct partner in the division, the business unit leader. Yeah? And my partner is the executive of the division, respected division. Yeah? And so we organized, and so I hope we have a good potential to support our divisions with IT services and new digital transformation services. Okay, thank you, and yeah, I like your questions.
Right, thank you so much. And I think this is actually a great slide to leave it up for a moment. So I would have some questions about this. But first I want to ask into the audience. Is there anybody who wants to go first? Some question or a comment on the various things that we discussed. So let me see how I can get closer to you, Rosie. We have another question with you here. So Rosie.
Thank you. First, thank you for your nice talk. I have one comment and one question, and I'm going to make quite a few assumptions, so please correct me if I'm wrong. The first one is you mentioned that IT is seen mostly as a support to existing business models, and also that it's not really seen as a source of potentially new products. I'm not sure if I got this correct. And from that, it made me wonder if IT is always aligned with the strategy of the company. And in the end, you said that culture beats strategy. So leading that to another point before, connected to outsourcing, I understand many reasons that would lead a company to outsourcing certain tasks. But there are quite a few effects that would come along with that. For example, that if you don't have many people working in IT in your own company, maybe the culture would be different because the people who work in the company would not really understand the purpose of it. I wonder if that's something that you have seen, and also have you seen a loss of knowledge in the company if you outsource things like the development of an app, for example, or something like that?
Yes, there were several questions and assumptions, but let's begin from your last. Yeah, outsourcing, it's necessary to have partners. So we have partners in our projects. We have not all the staff to support projects, maybe from transferring the wholesale company from a legacy system, IBM AS400, to SAP. We are working at this for 6 years. And in some times we had 40 people from partners and 100 people in the whole project, in one department, in one office. Yeah? But that's normal. You have a peak, you have a project, you buy in some staff. But if you do this for a running business or for some critical applications, that's another question. And then you have to take it into account and to ask yourself, will I invest, do I invest for my people, for internal staff? If you take into account, maybe internal staff, external staff is always not cheap. Yeah? But if you take into account this, you pay external staff for what they are, for their services, yeah? And you have an internal staff and all this time with meetings and all these times you are not working, yeah? The price is not so different. Yeah? If you're really calculating this. Yeah? So from the cost side, it's not really the question. The other side is, from the strategic side, is this capability you have on your own, or you will outsource, or you will buy from external, is this a critical capability? So I told you the business component model, and the component model relates to the capabilities. And in our case, warehouse logistic, not transportation logistic, warehouse logistic, and the process of ordering, going to warehouse logistic, and then to deliver is our core competence. And we decide to step up a team, warehouse team in SAP. We had not before, yeah, of 4 people, because it's important to have this competence in-house. This is the competence side. The other side is the reaction time. If you have a problem and you have a partner, an external partner, the reaction time you can buy is almost, in the best case, 2 hours. In some cases, critical cases, if you pay a lot of more, 1.5 hours, then you have someone on the phone. But this person, someone on the phone, is not the person normally that can solve your problem. So you need much more time, and you will not get a negotiation, a contract about solving time, not in IT. But if you have an internal staff, you have another situation, because internal staff you can organize how to get them in a close manner and to get them in short times, and their empathy is another. If they, also I can talk about my staff. If they get a call from me or from my managers, they're on the phone and they're interested to help the company. And that's the mindset, and that's the engagement, and that's the empathy of internal staff. You will not get from external. And there are some reasons and some thoughts to get into the decision of outsourcing or not outsourcing. Only to focus on costs is not a good idea. Because if we have a new manager on top, and it's like, okay, we'll focus on costs and we make an outsourcing deal, it's a bad thing. In a company I worked for, in a consulting company, we had we support the tool ARIS, and this for German and for Austrian and for Switzerland customers, the support was in Munich. And then someone had the good idea of cost perspectives to get to Bratislava. Yeah. The first time, because they can all talk German. Okay. In the first months, we get emails back from our customers that they get information from Bratislava help desk. They may formulate the question in English because they are learning German. Yeah. So it needs time to do this. Huh? And the customer were not satisfied. And after 1.5 years, they took back the call center to Munich. But because of cost issues and 1.5 years, you have not satisfied customers, and not only for 1.5 years. The customers, 5 years ago, they spoke about this because it's in mind. Yeah.
Thank you very much also for your speech, and I would like to ask actually 2 questions about the very beginning of your speech. You started with you sitting with the CFO and discussing the need for the change. So the first question is, how did you know there was need for the change, and why did it happen exactly 3 years ago? Was it because of the disruption in the whole industry? Was it because of your competitors, or was it because of something else? And the second question is specifically about your competitors. You didn't cover that much, but perhaps, well, I mean, I assume that you also looked at your competitors. What are they doing? And how's their strategy different from your strategy? Or maybe you learned something from them?
Mm-hmm. Okay, the first question is, I was sitting with my CFO, and what was the reason? What was the point we are sitting and discussing? So my CFO was not only on cost cutting, had not the idea of cost cutting, because we discussed in former times the potential of IT in general. And 2015-16, there was a great pressure, from the strategic analysts like Gartner, Forrester, and IDC to go into a new phase and a new phase of digitalization. We have to take into account that in my consulting time, in the year of 2000 to 2007, there was also digitalization, but not with these new technologies, not with the potential of mobile, of social, not of the potential of cloud technologies. So there are new technologies, and you have to think about these new technologies. It's because also of the market pressure. It's like, okay, watch out that you are not the last. Take into account you are the first, yeah? the first mover advantage. And we discussed this from this viewpoint. And I was first time in the Gartner conference in Barcelona with approximately 5,000 IT guys. And there was a really great pressure in this field. And also from the technology side, but also from the view that technology is not the only point. You need to focus on business, and you need to get the business into your consideration. Yeah? From the business side, they have also some little small ideas like, okay, we have videos on YouTube, yeah, for our company and for our services. But that's only small steps, and we want to make a bigger step into new services. That was our discussion, and so we defined this workshop series and these first workshops for digital transformation, and we convinced also our owners to support this in this direction. This was the reason for beginning this. And the second question of the competitors, yes, as you see, we have several divisions and we have several competitors. It was not so easy for me in the first 2 years to understand what the division agriculture is really doing. They are producing, we are producing our own products, we are producing for others. We are, in one country we have distribution business, in the other country we have a wholesale business. So it's really complex of the different businesses, and after some strategic projects we do better understand what they are doing. And in these traditional businesses, the competitors are more or less in the same development stage. So they are not very, very further. In the pharmacy wholesale business, we are very regulated. And if you go to pharma and our products, it's not so easy to develop a new product. If you have a new product, you need a development time. Then you need time to set up all the documents for the regulations. You need approximately at least 2 years, 2 to 3 years to have all the documents that you can sell a product in a country. So you have solid time and you are not so agile to have new products and new businesses. Yeah? And it's not so easy, let's say, also in the wholesale business, to make online business for pharmacies. Yeah? In Austria, 3 years ago, it was a new regulation that is possible, but you can only do online business from the base of a pharmacy. A wholesaler cannot do online business. In Austria, you can go 1 meter out of Austria and you can do online business for the whole world, also in Austria, but not from Austria, because we are so regulated. So the development stage and the development time is only small. But in this field, also in the wholesale, if our competitors are not only the competitors of the past, our competitors are, let's say, DM or BIPA, because when they sell some products, and they can sell some products, maybe in the next 2 years, then we have new competitors. And they are good in their capabilities, in warehouse management, in logistics, and they are good also in online business. And then we have a problem.
Hi, I'm from Belgium. I'm a final student here, master student, so I just finished school, and basically this is my last time in an auditorium for a long time. But 2 years ago, I attended pretty much the same lecture given by Chief Digital Officer of Novartis, Bertrand Boutson. And it's quite astonishing to see the differences in the approach that you're taking and that Novartis is taking. I'm hearing a lot here about regulation, about restrictions, about little steps, about going one step at a time. And on the other side, Novartis, which is a way larger player, it's 50 times actually the revenue side, they actually are so bold in their approach, and they say, well, we're going to take all the value proposition and all the customer journey and we're going to change it on the digital side. And actually, the wholesale of drugs is going to be totally different. We don't want any drugstores anymore in the next years to come. And we actually think we're able to do that and to change it. And so I'm wondering, don't you think that today you can still actually manage to survive in a world with Novartis, with Pfizer, with GSK, but that if tomorrow that digital approach is going to be so bolder than yours, that actually you're going to be eaten by those on that field. But actually, even if today you see them as competitors, tomorrow they're just going to be predators to you.
Yes, thank you for this question. why do you have another approach? The first issue is that we are owned by Austrian family, and they have another time frame in their thought. Yeah? That's not maybe the time frame that our competitors have in mind, but that's our frame, and you cannot go out of this frame. We have a lot of discussions at this point to make it more agile, to make it more creative, but you have to live in this ecosystem, your own ecosystem, and these steps we have gone are the most steps. It was not possible to go further. No? And Pfizer and so on, they are not only partly our competitors, because we are not have not a research and development of products they do. We use some products and make another product. So yes, from our discussions, I would take a greater step, but it's only these steps were possible in our culture. So culture beats strategy.
This is one of the biggest learning that I have in Austria, that I've seen in Austria, is the way that shareholding and the way that your culture in Austria actually goes deep down into your businesses is completely different, because I come from a Latin perspective in Belgium and France, and I've worked there, and it seems so more agile than everything you do here actually. And it's not a negative way, but
no.
That's my takeaway.
So better you go back, not be far. Before you're influenced too much here. Okay.
I think you must agree that changes in an organization are challenging, especially for people who are working in this organization, and that's why I want to ask you, how are you dealing with changes in your organization?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's really important that I focus this in the beginning, not how to buy in the divisions and the division leader, because they have not in mind to develop a digital strategy, to go into new fields, to go into new innovation, and to invest time also for these workshops. It's not so easy to bring them on a place to invest time. So it's important, and in our company you have to go small steps, but from the change perspective, people need also to go small steps. Yeah? Otherwise, you lose them. Yeah? And the question is, have they the digital affinity? Do they know about the potential of technology? Can you have some workshops or some innovation days maybe? No? So if you make innovation days, our approach is also to have to make some little projects, to tell them to have some minimal viable products, to show them, okay, that's possible, yeah, with a minimal amount of effort. If you go further, you have a better technology and a better product, like we've done with RPA, with robot process automation. To say there's a technology, it's an advantage for you, we can do this. Yeah? And we make videos, and we deliver these videos in the organization, so they have a view what you can do with this technology. And there's also a way for other technologies to give them an insight what they can do. Yeah? And in the use of technology, you need also a bigger step. You need a project. You need energy to do this. If you ask them, will you make a greater step, they will mostly say no. Yeah? But you have to convince them, and if you cannot convince them, but the owners are convinced or the executive are convinced, maybe you need a greater step and a project and the will to do this. And if you do not invest in change management, you will lose them. We had a great transformation project with SAP. We defined key users. We told our company, you need key user. If you don't have the key user, and sometimes if you don't have key user for 100%, not only for 10, 20, 30%, you will not manage this project. So I convinced them not really enough. They were key users, but from these 45 key users, 50% are in burnout or left the company. The others are stable and they support. They're really perfect key users. So it's more or less a biological view of key users, of defining them and this. I think if we had more invested in change, we have more invested in development of these key users, we would have lost approximately 20%, but not 50%. Yeah.
It's a more suggestion than a question regarding the up you showed us. Is it possible maybe to enhance it with delivery capability like Foodora-like? So means that not you need to go there, but this bicycle deliveries come to you?
To me, as I need a drug. Huh? Yes, this would be possible in some cases. You need we have some temperature regulations, but for some areas of drugs, it might be possible. I think yes. But I think it's not really. If you buy food, you have the minimum amount is €10, I think, and then you pay something. If you have a little drug with €2, I don't think it's really a business case, but it might be possible for some drugs. Yeah. What is more challenging?
What was the most challenging part in implementation?
If you are in the implementation, the most work is done. If you have the business case, if you have the budget funding, and you go into implementation and you build your minimum viable product, the next step, a challenging step, is to invest in the next phases. Because if you have your prototype, your minimum viable product, you have maybe 10–15% of the resources, of the financial resources you need. So to go the step beyond and to bring this product to the market, that is the most challenging decision. And sometimes it needs not months, sometimes it needs years to convince the executives to do this in our company.
The most challenging was to convince
the executives to not only to have a prototype, then go in the next step. Yeah? And from the technical side, challenging is the integration. If you have your data, who is using the data, security issues, and also if you use the data or like to use the data mobile, it's not so easy. Not? Is it mobile in your network, it's not the great problem. But if you have another network, if you're outside, then you have really issues to solve. Yeah.
My next question, I also work in the pharmaceutical industry, and you told in the last slide that each functional area has IT support. So as I understand, you have several branches, and do you provide such support for all branches? Because I think it will be quite a big number of IT employees and IT support, or it's quite costly to provide such support.
Yes, it is costly, and this is if you have 1,300 employees in 7 branches, it's more costly as you have 1,300 employees in 1 branch. Yeah, and it's a lot of complexity because we have 5 different productions. We have different sales processes. We are not only selling something of a salesperson is relationship management, that is not selling. You have not a selling plan. So the difference and the variability of our processes are determining the complexity. And so I need also an amount of staff to do this. But it's these functional areas are not the divisions. So every division has these functional areas because all of our divisions are functional organized. So all marketing and sales is also serving 7 divisions, and also like supply chain management is serving 7 divisions. And we have the complexity in all these functional areas. But my task is to have one technical platform for one specific problem. So I have especially SAP C4C for all 7 divisions, for sales and marketing processes. Does it fit for all? No. There are some best of breed CRM systems for pharma or for other industries. But it's the solution, the best solution or one of the solutions for all. And that's for me important that I have one platform, and in the best case in this one platform for 7 divisions I have one process and one solution. In the other case I have 7 different solutions on this platform. But it is one technical platform, and it's lower cost to serve this platform.
My last question, also you spoke about this app. Is this app available for everyone? Or?
This app is not available to anybody. It's an idea, it's a business case. It's not so easy to do this. I heard that in Ukraine there is a prototype of them in this way. I don't think that it will be an app in the next time. But it would be interesting if someone is funding this, maybe with crowdfunding, to do some steps in this direction. The main issue is to get the stock data. Yeah.
Are there any further questions? If not, I would like to thank Mr. Buraj for his time and coming here and giving us this interesting talk. And as well you as the audience for attending.
Okay.
And we can close the evening.
Okay. Thank you.